Morning everybody, welcome back to Lowry Acres. It's raining good this morning. It is Saturday, so we are working in the greenhouses again today. So what we've got going on today, we're planting out our snapdragons, we're planting out our second round of ranunculus. Some of our tulips started blooming this week. We had a few anemones blooming. But today we're planting and we're using the Paperpot Transplanter, so I thought I'd give you a quick little overview of how that's working. So here's the Paperpot Transplanter. It's being pulled by my brother-in-law Matt and his sister Megan. It really does a pretty slick job. I said these beds are new to us this year. This is a completely new house. So these beds aren't in the best shape, so we are having a little trouble with the Paperpot. Getting our depth right and getting our rows closed back up. I think we finally got it adjusted pretty well. You can kind of see on our first pass what we had happening. We weren't getting it quite deep enough. That's also on the outside of the bed. The ground's a little harder there. It wasn't tilled quite as well, and that's some of my fault. Our inside bed, after we got some adjusting done, it's planting really nicely. We do use a 6-inch spacing for the paper pots. For the snapdragons, really for most of our cut flowers are on the 6-inch spacing. And it's going along pretty good. I said we're not the fastest at it. Hopefully we get a little better as time goes on, but it still beats the heck out of planting with a regular, trowel and on your hands and knees planting. So we've got the paper pot stuff planted. Now we're down to plant our next round of ranunculus. They got a lot of stuff going on here today. I'll kind of show you what we have here. I'm going to apologize for the background noise. It is raining hard here today. We've already had 2 inches overnight, and it's supposed to rain throughout the day today. So when we plant our ranunculus, the ranunculus come as these little octopus-looking corms. And what we do is we plant them in these starter flats, and they'll stay in our walk-in cooler for 10 to 14 days at about 50 degrees. And what that does is that lets them get it hydrated good and starts them. And I forgot to mention, before we plant them in the trays, we do soak them in water for about 6 hours prior to planting. They come in as dehydrated corms, so you have to rehydrate them. So we plant ours 4 rows on a 30-inch bed, and we space them 4 to 6 inches apart. And this usually works well for most of them. Some of our bigger corms will have to plant a little farther apart, like our butterfly ranunculus and some of those. But for most general purposes, 4 rows to a bed, 4 to 6 inches apart, does a fine job. See, some of these here are already getting sprouts on top of them. They're starting to grow off pretty quick. Getting little root hairs, so we're going to get these in the ground, and hopefully in a couple months from now we'll have lots more ranunculus.